What's up, guys? I'm Jordan.
I'm Maddie.
And we're Tangerine Travels. We sold everything we owned, moved from the US to Mexico, and have been traveling throughout Mexico.
In that time, and also before that, we've stayed in a ton of Airbnbs. It's our go-to thing for rentals. And so over time, we've picked up some tips and some tricks and stuff to watch out for, red flags, to avoid crummy, terrible, nightmarish situations.
Yeah, so by the end of this video, you're going to get a bunch of ways that you can save money, book a better Airbnb, and avoid disasters.
So the first thing is going to seem a little bit obvious, but it is very important. Use Airbnb's filters to your advantage. Think of anything that's important to you, whether that's Wi-Fi, pet friendly, or anything like that. Check those filters to make sure that the listing has that, because you can avoid tons of disasters right off the bat by just making sure that you're filtering out exactly what you need.
For example, if you're traveling with a dog like us, and you get to your new city, and you didn't check the pets allowed filter, well, you might not have a place to stay that night.
So this is one that we've found to be true time and time again, and it's a pretty big red flag, and that is notice whether in the reviews people are just talking about the host. The host was really nice, the host was very accommodating, the host gave me lots of recommendations. If they're just talking about the host, it's probably because that person is super nice, but they didn't have anything good to say about the property. And we've stayed in, what, like 3 or 4 places like that where it was like, oh, you really don't want to leave a bad review for this person, but it's just not a good rental.
And it's not a bad thing for reviews to say the host was nice, as long as the reviews are also saying, hey, this thing was good, this thing was great, this thing was awesome.
On this note also, we've felt like, should we leave a review being honest about the place? Like the bed was uncomfortable, the shower was dirty, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, if you're thinking like, you know, the person was so nice, I can't leave them a bad review, all you're doing is basically screwing other people over into like a really bad experience. So it's kind of a tricky situation, but that's sort of our view on it.
This one ties in right with the last one. People tend to leave nicer reviews and be generous with how many stars they give a place. 4.5 stars on Airbnb is not the same as 4.5 stars on Google or on Yelp or TripAdvisor. On those sites, yeah, 4.5 stars is great. On Airbnb, 4.5 stars sucks. I have to cut into myself. It's not that a 4.5 star place is going to suck. It's just that about half of the 4.5 star Airbnbs that we've booked just didn't end up being the greatest place. So we know that if it's 5 stars all around, we're going to be very happy with it.
We also think this is due to the fact that Airbnb sets its reviews up. Comfort is not a category that you can rate them low in. So there have been rentals where we're like, it was so uncomfortable, it almost basically ruined whatever trip, whatever city we were in, ruined that experience, was damaging to our health or something. But we were hard-pressed to leave them a bad review because for Airbnb standards, it was like 4 or 5 stars all around.
Because they have 6 different categories that you rate in, and comfort is not one of those. So if you have a really uncomfortable bed, well then there's no place really to mark them down. You really want to find one that's 5 stars in every single category, because every time we've done that, we were very, very happy with our stay.
So this next one is something that we would never have ever thought to look at, except for we had such a bad experience. We were like, how did we pick a 5-star place that was awful?
Yeah, how's this 5-star place such a dump?
So we went back and looked at the reviews because we're like, what did we miss? What did we do wrong? And one thing we noticed was that there were 2 reviews from the same person, and this person happened to live in the city that this rental was in. So it's not unusual that there would be 2 reviews from the same person, but the fact that that person lived there is sort of like, this wasn't like a staycation kind of place.
Yeah, look for fake reviews.
If you're really, really wanting to get in there and make sure that it's a good experience for you, you might want to go through the extra time of checking out that detail.
You might be starting to think that, oh my gosh, I have to do so much to book a decent Airbnb. And yes, there are a lot of things you can do, but you don't have to do all these things. If you just want to do something simple, go back to the filters and click the Superhost Only option. This will only show you the homes by a qualified superhost, and that means they have a lot of great reviews and they don't cancel reservations. You're going to have a good experience if you book one of those.
After booking tons of Airbnbs, there's another little nuancy type thing that we realized after a while. Look at the host's other listings to see if there are other people staying in that house, because it will say private room in a house, but you really don't know, is it the only room that they're renting out, or do they have 9 other rooms that they're renting? Because if so, you're gonna be sharing a bathroom with a ton of other random people. We feel like it's a whole lot less secure and generally not as great of an experience as a private place or just a single room. So if that's important to you or something that you think might ruin the experience, then we'll look for that.
Some of our worst experiences were in those homes where they're renting out a ton of rooms. Another thing to look at is to see if your host has other properties. This really helped us out this past weekend when we were staying in Guadalajara, because this listing we were looking at was brand new, no reviews whatsoever, but the host had other properties that got good reviews. So this new listing was at a discount because it's a new listing, and we were comfortable or
confident, yeah.
Yeah, we were confident that the host knew what he was doing because he had lots of great reviews on other properties. So we got a great deal on a nice place because of that.
A 5-star place, as it turns out.
That is just one of the ways you can save money and get a better place, but stick around to the end and we're going to give you about 4 more ways you can do that as well.
One thing that we forgot to mention on the Superhost side of things is a great benefit to Superhost picking one of those versus another listing is that they cannot cancel your booking at any time. So that's a very real possibility of something that could put you in a pickle, is that a host cancels at the last minute. Maybe they have it listed on another website and they got a better deal, or the 2 people are paying them more or something like that. Pick Superhost when you can, because it'll avoid the trouble.
So thankfully we've never had a booking canceled at the last minute, but it does happen and it can really screw you over if it does.
Yeah, because a lot of times if they're canceling on you at the last minute, you're going to be left with the most expensive bookings, or maybe ones that don't have all the things you need, like being pet friendly or something. So that's a big reason why it's good to choose Superhost whenever they're available. So even if you follow every Airbnb tip, trick, hack, and helpful thing in the world, there are still going to be times when you end up in like a kind of crappy situation or not ideal situation. Whatever you do, do not wait until the end of your stay. Contact Airbnb as soon as possible, even if you think it's going to be an awkward situation. Airbnb is pretty good about helping you. This might mean that you're going to have to find something at the last minute to get yourself into a better situation, but a lot of times Airbnb will give you some type of a discount or help you out in some way because the listing wasn't accurate or something else went wrong that was out of your control.
Now we're on to the point where we're going to tell you how you can get the best bang for your buck on Airbnb.
The most rental for your money.
The most house for your dinero.
Okay, we get it.
We mentioned earlier booking a place without any reviews whatsoever. That's kind of scary, and for good reason, but new listings are often 20% cheaper. They'll have a 20% discount for the first 3 people to book, and they'll also have a lower price because they can't compete on reviews or anything, so they have to compete on price. But booking a new listing is risky, so use your best judgment.
Another money-saving tip is that you can look for places that have a weekly or monthly discount. What we've done in the past a lot of times is book for a shorter amount of time just to make sure that it's going to be a good situation for us, a good rental, fast internet, whatever it is that we need, and then we'll extend the listing, or we'll extend our booking for a longer period of time because you can save 20, 30%, sometimes more that way.
This is another money-saving tip. Book as far in advance as possible. A lot more availability open and more homes to choose from.
And a lot of times the price can go up as it gets closer to the time that you're trying to book, because whether it's a holiday, an event is going on at that time or something like that. I mean, this is typical of hotels, tickets and concerts and things like that. It's true with Airbnb as well. But one thing thing that can make an otherwise reasonably priced listing way more expensive is the cleaning fee. Some places have them as low as like $3 or $1, something like that, but then others are pretty high, like $15, and that's not a huge deal if you're staying there for a few weeks or a month, but if it's 2 days, adding $15 can kind of be a huge deal. So if you want to avoid that, just look for the cleaning fee before you're booking it, and you can notice whether it's high or low or what it is.
And a lot of times there's none.
Some of them don't even have one.
Another way we've saved a lot of money on Airbnb is by looking on eBay for Airbnb gift cards at a discount. A lot of times they're available from this account called PayPal Digital Gifts, where you'll buy it at a 10% discount and you'll have it in your email like an hour later, and it's a super easy way to save 10%.
And our last big money-saving tip, which is actually a pretty big one for you Airbnb newbies, is to use our discount code. You'll get $40 off your first qualifying stay, and then we get a little bit too, which helps us continue our travels throughout Mexico, show you more places here, and have some fun along the way. And you can find that link down below in the description. Go click it, get money. Hope you guys enjoyed our how to avoid Airbnb disasters video and some helpful tips and tricks. Curious to know if you figured out anything along the way, stuff to look out for on Airbnb, great experiences that you've had. There's a spider on me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up.
And subscribe to our channel to see more of our travels through Mexico.
And gong that bell so you get notified
That was really loud.
That was really loud. It echoed on this whole street. Gong that bell so you get notified the next time we put out a new video.
And we'll see you there.